Hari Om, Namo Namaha. We will start with a prayer. So please repeat after me. Om Vakratundaya Namaha.
Om Vakratundaya Namaha.
Vakratunda Mahakaya.
Vakratunda Mahakaya.
Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva.
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva.
Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada.
Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada.
Welcome to the Mahabharata storytelling series. Please settle down. So before we start, let me get an idea of now who knows what. So how many of you know the Mahabharata? By show of hands. Okay, so that's about say 40%. Okay, very good. 45%. 45% of the people know Mahabharata. How about the rest? How many of you know something about the Mahabharata? Something, anything is okay. Okay, how many of you know something about the Mahabharata? Anything, it can be half a character also. Okay, alright, that's better. So what do you know about the Mahabharata? Anything, any characters from the Mahabharata? Anybody? Pandavas are a group of characters from the Mahabharata. Anybody else?
Bharata means it's about Bharatavardhan, the whole continent of Asia was called.
Bharata is the land, is the period, is the land, is the region, right? Characters, any characters from the Mahabharata? Anybody? Bhishma. Krishna. Kunti Devi. I like Karna. Bhishma. Okay, twice Bhishma. Anybody else? No other characters? Shantanu, Duryodhana. Good. There's some bad characters also. Who else? Yudhishthira. Dhritarashtra. Okay, alright. So, Mahabharata is one of the most engaging and informative epic known to mankind. The story was set in 3000 BC, 3102 BC. So let's just say 3000 BC. Set in 3000 BC. What does that mean? It is set 5000 years ago from today. We are in year 2013. Mahabharata was set 3000 BC. The story happened 5000 years ago. When you hear about it like that, okay, it seems like a long time ago, but how long exactly? So let's try to put that in context, okay? I need two people to help me. So Ritvik, come here. So let us assume that Ritvik is from Mahabharata, okay? So we'll put him all the way in the Mahabharata era. Okay, so Ritvik is here. Stay here. Okay. We're going to do some time travel. Okay, one more person. Okay, one of you come. Okay, both of you come. What's your name? Naman? Hi. Okay, so Naman and Vedant. Okay. No, Vedant. Come here. So what we'll do, we'll put Vedant right bang smack in the middle. We'll put him at 0. Alright? Okay. So Vedant is at 0. Ritvik is 3000 BC or 5000 years ago. And Naman and I are going to do some time traveling. This is today. Right? Let's start. Our objective is to reach Ritvik eventually. First we have to reach Vedant and then we have to reach Ritvik. We start today. Let's get some landmarks in place so we understand, while we travel through time, who all we meet and what happened. Today, easiest thing to say is Barack Obama. Okay, today. Let's take one step. George W. Bush. Okay, let's take one more step. Small steps, okay? We're going only like 7 years at a time. Okay, Bill Clinton. One more baby step. George Bush Sr. Okay, at this rate, we will never reach 5,000 years, right? Let's take one more step. 1947. What happened? India got independence. Okay, alright. Let's take one more step. Early 1900s, World War I, World War II. They only traveled 100 years. 5,000 years ago. So we have to travel a little faster. Take one more step. 1776. American independence. 1776. Okay? We traveled now around 300 years, give or take. Alright. Let's travel a little bit more. Okay, one more step. 1500.
Columbus found America.
Close. 1492. Christopher Columbus found America. What has happened in 1500? Guru Nanak happened. What else happened? Leonardo da Vinci happened. Okay. Then America was discovered, as we rightly put. We have traveled only about 500 years. Mahabharata happened 4,500 years before America and all this was even discovered. Let's travel a little bit more. One more step. 1381. First English edition of the Bible was printed. All the different versions of the Bible that we see in every hotel room today, first English version was printed 1381. Talking about the Bible, accredited author of the Bible, true author of the writer. Let's go to 0. Let's travel 1300 years and we'll reach Veda. We have traveled only 2000 years. We haven't even come halfway. Mahabharata is still another 3000 years to go. Let's travel halfway. Now we'll travel with number 9 Veda. Okay, let's travel to 500 BC. 2000 years, 2500 years from today. 2500 years from then. Gautama Buddha happened. You've seen the idol? Okay. Buddha happened at 500 BC. Mahavira happened at around 500 BC. Give or take a few years. We still have 2500 years to go. Nothing ever comes close to how old the Mahabharata really is. 5,000 years. It's a long, long time ago. Fact 1. Fact 2, as I said, it's one of 2 great Hindu epics or Indian epics, along with Ramayana. Fact 3, the Mahabharata is about 1.8 million words in length. Again, that seems like a big number, but what does that mean? And we'll try to put that also into context. A typical novel that we read today, a typical novel, something like this, is about 20,000 words. Okay? So, how many such books are needed so we can see how big Mahabharata is? 10 books? Yes? No? Anybody? 10 into 20? No? Okay. 20 books? 30? No. 40? Mathematics are going on in the head. No. 50? 60? 70? 80? 90 into 20,000 is 1.8 million. Nearly 100 such books stacked one on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, on top of the ceiling. Now is not enough. And then we'll get close to how big the Mahabharata is. It's a long, big book. Let's give another example to put this into context. Lord of the Rings, all 3 books put together, 500,000 words. Mahabharata is 1.8 million. Harry Potter, 7 books, made into 8 movies, 1 million words. Mahabharata is 1.8 million. Nothing comes close. Even Ramayana is only 1/4 the size of Mahabharata. So what are the facts about Mahabharata? It's one of 2 great epics. Yeah? It has 1.8 million words. And it came 5,000 years ago. Why should we study the Mahabharata?
Life teacher?
Life. You've been cheating. Yes, it's a life teacher. Why should we learn the Mahabharata? Not because it is 1.8 million words. Not because it's 5,000 years old. Not because it teaches us Hindu culture. So many of your parents have said that. That is a good reason. But it's not just because of that. There is a very profound, very real, very factual and important reason why Mahabharata is so important in our lives. And both Raj Mahoday and Bharati have given me this tennis ball so that I can explain why the Mahabharata is important. Okay. So, what am I holding in my hand? We all can see tennis ball. See? We all should learn from Veda. Okay, this is a tennis ball. Now what will happen if I let go of this tennis ball? It will fall down? Okay, it will bounce. Okay, first it will fall down, then it will bounce. Will it fall down? Sure? Any doubts about it? Will it go straight to my right? Will it go to my left? Will it come crashing into you? If I just let it go, it will fall down. Try it out. Then it's fallen down. Why does it fall down?
Gravity.
Gravity. Good job. It falls down because of?
Gravity!
Excellent. Okay, what is gravity? Go ahead.
The force that keeps you down on Earth.
Brilliant. Wonderful definition. A force that keeps you down on Earth. Let's go to a more factual definition. Isaac Newton defined gravity as that force that attracts one object to another, any two objects. Okay. Einstein goes a step further. Trust me, even I don't understand it. Einstein says gravity is the result of space-time curvature. At least Newton's definition you can kind of understand. Einstein's definition, we have to call some physicists and some doctors and some PhDs to explain that to us. Which one of these three is easy to perceive? A definition, like what Ritwik said, or what Newton said. A definition, like what Einstein said, or something as simple as a ball, when let go, falls down. Gravity. Just like that. You don't need to read books. You just know. You can perceive it. We go to school to learn science, math, history. We go to college, learn law, medicine. We really don't learn life from anywhere. There's no school for it really, right? But we all have questions in life. We all have problems in life. All kinds of problems. Vik has problems, Vedant has problems, Bharti has problems, Ravi has problems, I have problems, everybody has problems.
Amma made something.
Everybody has problems in life. Very simple. Ritwik wants to play. His mother wants him to study. He is in a dilemma. There is a problem. Our ancestors said, stop trying to give definitions to your problems. Just listen to a story. Because it is all encompassing. It has all the answers to any situation that you can think of. By virtue of telling us a story, when the situation comes, we will just know, just like a ball drops, what to do. Is it just about simple things like academics and studying? Let's take some real problem that all of us face. Okay. We all have desires, right? We have read about it. We all have desires, we all have wants. This is true to everybody. We are in a state of reality and we want to be in a state of desire, where we want to be. A state of reality and a state of desire. If we stand on our reality, look at our desire and make peaceful, step-by-step progress, guaranteed one day you will reach your desire. No doubt. However, if you stand on your desire, look at reality, you'll get frustrated. Examples are better. Okay. My desire, I want to look like Hrithik Roshan. I want to look like Tom Cruise. I want to look like Vin Diesel. I want to look like one of those guys. Reality, I am a moving mountain. When I sit down, I can't even get up. I'm 300 pounds. Reality. If I look at my desire, standing on my reality, and make every day step-by-step progress. Go to the gym, diet properly, sleep well, eat well, one day I will reach it. Instead, if I stand on my desire and look at how I am today, I will get frustrated. However, even this concept, how does this concept, this simple explanation, gravity is a force that attracts one to another. Yeah, but how does this become like a ball dropping aha? How does this become an aha moment? Our ancestor said, listen to a story. That's it. Does it answer only things like this? How about deep spiritual questions that we all have? Mahabharata answers that too. How? We are all born as a human possibility. That's it. We are all born as a human possibility. We can either descend and live like an animal, or ascend and be a divine. What does this mean? We can either descend and live like an animal. In other words, every animal sleeps, every animal gets up, every animal eats, every animal acquires something for its consumption, every animal breathes, every animal dies. We can either do that, or we can realize the value of the human potential and ascend to the divine. How? The Mahabharata brilliantly puts this knowledge, this teaching, right bang smack in the middle of one of the worst conflicts we've ever heard of in Kurukshetra, and just shows us how to put this into practice in our daily lives. The important reason why the Bhagavad Gita is difficult for many of us to even comprehend is because we try to read it out of context without knowing any of the things that happened before it. From King Shantanu to that war, if we really understand, Bhagavad Gita just starts making sense like that. It really does. So, Mahabharata is important because it teaches us some of the things that are very important in life. But it's not taught anywhere else. Our ancestors realized this and told us the easiest way is for grandmothers to tell their grandchildren Mahabharata. Okay. So what kind of story are we talking about? So let's get into it. Mahabharata. What kind of story? Mahabharata story. Yes, we are talking about Mahabharata story. Brilliant. Okay, what kind of story? Is it a love story? Is it a fighting story? What is it? Let me give a... It's also a fighting story. Then we'll give a synopsis of what Mahabharata is about. We'll give a synopsis of what Mahabharata is about. So you understand what kind of story we are talking about. We'll get into it. There was once a king called Shantanu. Shantanu married a woman called Ganga. They both had a son called Bhishma. They both had a son called Devavrata who went on to become Bhishma. One day Ganga left Shantanu. Okay, I'm not interested in being married to you anymore. She left him. Shantanu, king of Hastinapura, married another woman called Satyavati. Shantanu and Satyavati had two children called Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Don't worry, all these names are in the material and given out to you. Shantanu and Satyavati had two children called Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada died at a young age, so he couldn't have any children. Vichitravirya had two children called Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Dhritarashtra was the eldest son. Eldest son should have become the king, but he was born blind. And therefore, Pandu, his younger brother, ruled the kingdom instead for some time. The sons of Pandu are Pandavas. And the sons of Dhritarashtra were the Kauravas. Pandu and Dhritarashtra had children, sons of Pandu were Pandavas, sons of Dhritarashtra were Kauravas. Who were the Pandavas? Yudhishthira. Bhima is the second. Arjuna. Nakula. Sahadeva. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. Who are the Kauravas? Who are the Kauravas? Duryodhana. Dushasana. Yuyutsu. Dharma Darshana. Durdarshana. Dushkarna. Vinda. Anuvinda. We can keep going on. There are 100 of them. That's why nobody remembers. Because if we start telling them, we keep telling for the entire evening. Okay. There is another reason. In history, none of us ever remember bad people. If you want to be remembered, be a good person. You will be remembered. Example, on the good side, we remember Harry Potter, we remember Ginny Weasley, we remember Ron, we remember Hermione. On the bad side, we remember Voldemort. I can't think of anybody else. Bad people are never remembered. If you want to be remembered, be on the good side. Okay, so what was the conflict? So Duryodhana and his brothers said this. They said, my father, Dhritarashtra, should have been the king. He was blind. Okay. am the first son of the first son. No. So I should be the next king. My brothers and myself should rule the kingdom. And he told the Pandavas, get out. Go away. The Pandavas were fair. No, they didn't go away, but they said, listen, why are we fighting? This is such a big kingdom. You take half of it, we will take half of it. We will both live in peace. Duryodhana said, no, I want all of it. You guys have no business being here. Go away. Now this is the basis. This is the basis of the entire conflict of Mahabharata. Any good story needs a good side, a bad side, and a conflict, and it takes a great story. Harry Potter, Lord Voldemort, conflict. Frodo Baggins, evil ring, conflict. Mahatma Gandhi, British Empire, conflict. Any good story needs a good side, bad side, conflict. And in Mahabharata, we have a good side, a bad side, and conflict. In fact, some of the great stories also have grey areas. Some of the great stories have grey areas. So does Mahabharata. It puts some characters there who seem like they are good, but they could be bad also. Like Snape. Is he good? No. Is he bad? No. Is he good? They keep confusing us throughout the series. So there are some characters like that also. In Mahabharata, Karna is a grey character. Why is he a grey character? We'll get to that in detail, but he is a grey character. He's a great person, excellent person, ended up on the wrong side. Grey character. Great stories have good guys, bad guys, and grey guys. Alright? This is the synopsis of the Mahabharata. Now, where did it all start? It all started with this king called Shantanu, king of Hastinapura. Now, before we talk about Shantanu, okay? One of the important lessons about life is the law of karma. Some of us believe in it, some of us don't. But it's a lesson. The story is going to show us clear examples how that works. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. King Shantanu was walking by river Ganga one day. As he was walking, he saw a really, really beautiful girl. Really beautiful. Like, gorgeous. He saw her, and what did he do? Immediately walked up to her and said, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from. Please marry me. Really? Yeah, he just said that. Blurted it out. What did he not do? He didn't stand in his reality, look at his desire, and make peaceful, step-by-step progress. He just saw his desire, just wanted to jump. He jumped and he asked. Ganga responded to him. What did she say? She said, King, you're a great king. I've heard about you. You look good. And I will marry you on one condition. She said, I will marry you on one condition. What is the condition? Shantanu asked what the condition was, and Ganga said, I will marry you provided you do not question me on any of my actions. I will be a faithful wife. I will discharge my duties properly. We will both be happy. Now all that I will do as a wife, whatever I should do, I will do. Nothing will go wrong. But any of my actions, you should not question. The minute you question, I shall leave you then and there and walk away. That was the condition. At least Shantanu should have thought about this at least 30 seconds. No, he said okay. That's it. He just said okay, yeah, no problem. Why did he say okay? He didn't start to think, what could she possibly, nothing. Okay, yeah, no problem, just marry me. They both got married. And for 1 year, they were incredibly happy. Everything was perfect. After 1 year, they had a child. A newborn baby. As soon as the baby was born, Ganga took the baby in her hands, walked to the river, dropped this newborn baby in the river, and the baby drowned and died immediately. Shantanu was shocked. He was aghast. What did she just do? He wanted to go there and like shake her up and ask her, what have you just done? But he didn't ask. Because he valued the promise that he made prior to getting married to Ganga. That he shall not question any of her actions. He wanted to ask. He didn't ask. He controlled himself. He gave respect to his promise. Even though it was something as disastrous as this. One more year passed. I think it was a year. I'm saying in our terms. Maybe babies were born sooner than faster. Okay, one more year passed. Another child was born. Ganga took the second child, went to the river, dropped it in the river, died again. Came back with a smile. Third child, Ganga did the same thing. Took the child, went to the river, dropped it, came back. Fourth child, same thing. Fifth, same thing. Dropped it in the river, killed. Sixth, same. Seventh, Ganga took the child, went to the river, dropped, drowned, child died. Shantanu was struck with grief. The eighth child was born. Naturally, Shantanu was anxious. He thought Ganga was going to do the exact same thing, and Ganga took the child with the same intention. Took the eighth child, walked over all the way to Ganges River, was just about to drop it. Then Shantanu, screaming from behind, said, "Stop! I can't take this anymore. What are you doing? What kind of a woman are you? Stop! Don't do this. Why are you being so cruel? You're as cruel as you are beautiful. Stop!" He stopped. Ganga turned around, smiled again, and said, "King, you have broken your promise, and therefore the time has come for me to go away." And then she said, "But before going, I will tell you who I am and where I am from." At the outset, would somebody kill their own child? And whoever does that, it's impossible to even digest that that's possible. Is it wrong? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's see what Ganga says. Ganga said, "King, I am goddess Ganga." It's the first time she's revealing to King Shantanu that she is Ganga. I am goddess Ganga. A long time ago, there were 8 Vasus. Vasus are elemental gods in Hinduism. There are 8 of them. Aha, Anala, Anila, Dhara, Pratyusha, Prabhasa, Soma, Dhruva. Is there in the material with you? Each one of them has a meaning. There were 8 elemental gods. These 8 gods were holidaying with their wives. They were going hiking on a mountain. Okay? And they came across sage Vasishta's ashram. They came across sage Vasishta's ashram. Ashram is like a house, small hut, small house. Like the rishis and sages, they all used to live there. He came across sage Vasishta's ashram. Outside the ashram was Vasishta's cow called Nandini. Now this cow was no ordinary cow. Whoever drinks its milk will get everlasting life, immortal. And Nandini looked enormously beautiful. Phenomenally beautiful. Like really radiant and glowing and all that. I mean, when you look at Nandini, you'll feel like, what is that? You know, I really want to go there, touch it, get that kind of feeling, kind of a cow. So naturally, one of these wives are all like, wow, you know, really beautiful. Nandini was just standing there watching Nandini for some time. Then one of the wives, Prabhasa's wife, told Prabhasa, "Please get Nandini for me." Prabhasa said, "No, I can't get Nandini. That's Vasishta's cow. I can't get it for you." His wife said, no, I really like the cow. Please get it for me. Now, what use are cows for us? We don't need everlasting life. We are already gods. Why do we need everlasting life? We are already everlasting. What did Prabhasa's wife ask him? "Don't you love me?" That's it, gone. Prabhasa said, "Okay, I will get the cow for you." He went, stole the cow along with help from the other 7 Vasus, and they disappeared. After some time, Vasishta came home. Vasishta is one really powerful rishi. You can see like all kinds of things even when he's not physically there. So he closed his eyes. He found out that Nandini is not there. Closed his eyes and immediately found out all that had happened. And he cursed the 8 Vasus. He cursed the 8 Vasus. What was his curse? His curse was that the 8 of them should be born as human beings in the world. That's it? Yes. That's a curse? Yes. Why is that a curse? That's a curse because for a God who's enjoying everlasting life, who's enjoying no pains, no school, no office, none of the pains that we go through today, nothing, to be born as a human being in this world is torture. Torture. He cursed them. These 8 Vasus found out about the curse and they were like, oh my God, what did we just do? And they ran to Vasishta and fell at his feet and said, we are very sorry, here is the cow, here is Nandini, please do anything else but don't give us this curse. 8 of them begging, pleading. Vasishta said, I'm sorry, the curse has escaped my mouth. I've already said it. I can't take it back. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. They were begging and begging and begging. So Vasishta said, okay, I cannot take the curse back, but I can reduce the effect of the curse. And these are like, okay, reduce the effect. Now what does reduce the effect means? You still have to be born in the world as human beings, but go and ask Goddess Ganga to be your mother on earth. Just tell her, request her. Okay? She will agree. Just tell her I told so, she will agree. And then, as soon as you're born, tell her to drop you in the river and kill you. So, the curse would have taken effect. You would have been born in the world, but you would come back to the heaven immediately, because she would kill you immediately. So Ganga came, married Shantanu, had the 7 children, and all of them died. Having heard the reason, is it not proper for a God to be in the heaven? That is proper, no? That is his home, he has to be there. And because he has to go back to heaven, he has to die on earth. And in order to die as soon as possible, he had to be killed. The 7 of them had to be killed as soon as they were born, so they could be released from Vasishta's curse, go back to the heaven and live their life as God again. This is a lesson. Very important lesson. The lesson is, we may not entirely understand what is happening today. We may not understand the reasons for our action, the reasons for incidents that's happening around us. It's impossible to understand. But a reason exists, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Regardless of whether or not we are aware of the reason exists. You and I may not have the power to look into past and future like these people do, or these people did. But the least we can do is to look at our life in its entirety. When our parents ask us to study, it's because one day it's going to be good for us. We face this situation all the time in our lives. We want something so badly, but it doesn't happen. Maybe there is a reason. There is a reason. I like a boy in school. I like a girl in school. She doesn't like me back. There is a reason. Stand in your reality. Make it step by step, peaceful, everyday progress towards your desire. It will happen, or you will know the reason why it's not happening. One of the two is definite. Now, what happened to this 8th child? The child that Ganga did not throw in the river. Ganga did not throw in this 8th child in the river because Vasishta, while granting the reduction in curse, said, this reduction in curse I grant to 7 of you, not 8 of you. Since Prabhasa was the guy who actually stole my cow, Prabhasa has to live a full lifetime on earth. But he will have a great life. He will have a life and become a person who will be remembered at least till 2013. Please remember till today. And so, this 8th child, Ganga did not throw in the river. Ganga took this 8th child with her, raised him for a few years, came back to Shantanu and said, King, this is your son. His name is Devavrata. 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 This is your son, Devavrata. He has learned the Vedas from Vasishta and he's skilled beyond any human being in all forms of archery and warfare. He's brilliant. Here's your son. Shantanu was happy. He knew the reasons for Ganga's actions. He was happy. He got his son back. He was happy. Shantanu loved Devavrata very much. Devavrata loved Shantanu very much also. In fact, he loved his father so much that he made a promise that none of us can even dream of. We can't even imagine making something like that. We can't even imagine going there. He made such a promise that the gods gave him the name Bhishma from that moment onwards. What was the promise? And how did Devavrata become Bhishma? We will talk about next week. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. Mahabharata is one of two great Hindu epics, Indian epics. Fact 1. Fact 2, Mahabharata is 5,000 years old or 3000 BC. Nothing, as we saw in history, comes even close to how old Mahabharata is. Mahabharata is 1.8 million words in length. It's big, it's huge. Nothing comes close to how big the Mahabharata is. But these are not the reasons to study the Mahabharata. Not because it's an Indian culture epic. Not because it is big. Not because it is old. But because it is a life teacher. There was once a king called Shantanu. He married Ganga. They had a son called Bhishma. Shantanu married another girl called Satyavati. They had Chitrangada and Vichitravirya as two sons. Chitrangada died at a young age and Vichitravirya had two children called Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Dhritarashtra was born blind and so Pandu ruled the kingdom. The sons of Pandu were the Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. The sons of Dhritarashtra were the Kauravas, the eldest of them being Duryodhana. The Kauravas and Pandavas fought for the same kingdom of Hastinapura, which resulted in a great war. This is the crux of the conflict of the Mahabharata. The start of all this was King Shantanu, who married Ganga, accepting her condition that he will never question her actions. Ganga killed 7 of their first children. Shantanu didn't ask any questions. When the 8th child was born, Shantanu asked Ganga why she did what she did. Ganga explained that the children were 8 Vasus or elemental gods who were born in this world as a result of sage Vasishta's curse. And in order to relieve them of the curse, Ganga had to kill 7 of them. The 8th child, Devavrata, had to bear the full extent of the curse, and therefore he was not killed, handed back to Shantanu. How does Devavrata become Bhishma?